Good evening and welcome to another Teamidris vlog. So, what have we been up to here? Now, I thought I'd get a shot of the truck in this state because there's some things that are normally completely hidden that are kind of visible at the moment. So, right in there is the captive engine mount. So that's a suspension bush with a bolt through it so that the engine can move a little bit, but it can't physically come out. The bush has got a big bolt through it. So original Range Rover early headers, because I'm not looking for a lot of power out of this, just torque. This is the new part I've just welded in here, which is the shock absorber mount. The extra front stay for the roll cage is going to come off at the bottom here, then come all the way up and all the way up to the shiny bit of metal here. So the weight of the engine coming through that mount, any shock absorber forces and the force of the spring coming up off the axle, that's actually going to come all the way up, all the way along and all the way up to the roll cage if it lands upside down, which has happened. The other reason I thought you might be interested in seeing it with a few less parts is that power steering pump is in there at the top with its own bracket going down to the raft. That's the reservoir there, which is really high up so that it gravitationally feeds. You can see the bespoke air filter there, SU carbs, standard Rover distributor. The oil filter is sticking out into the inner wing here, and that's where it gets a bit difficult to photograph, but down in the engine here is the 3-stage dry sump pumps. So if we come back up the engine bay to this tank here, just below all the breathers and the gauge set, this is a 200mm round oil tank. It holds about 2 gallon, and all the engine oil when it's running lives in here, apart from what's splashing around the inside of the engine. When we come round to the other side, you can see the bottom edge of the tank, and there's a pickup pipe at the bottom, an inch pipe, comes through into the tail of that pump, and the other two are scavenge pumps. I don't think we'll get much of underneath, but there's no sump sticking out underneath. The other piece of work I'm doing while I'm in here is putting a sort of a kink into the lower radius arm. We're on the left hand side at the moment. This plate in the front is 3mm, and the plate on the back that runs from here to here is actually a piece of quarter plate. This is the side that usually takes more impact than the driver's side, because this is the one I'm not generally looking at. Here you can see the Gwyn Lewis, what do you call it, like a piece of armour. It's where the sumo track rod runs from one side to the other, and this means that when you get landed on rocks you're not damaging the sumo bar. Seems excessive, but we've had a rock jammed vertically between the axle and this piece of galvanised box section, so it is worth its while. Sort of after this tube, the next job is to cut the bottom of the chassis rail out, because when we look down from the top, if this was to go into full suspension mode, the radius arm would hit the bottom of the chassis. So okay, that's pretty unlikely with the rear springs that are up front, but I don't want that to happen. That would be quite nasty. If I come right round the front, you can see the winch fair lead. That is the tube that goes right through the truck. There isn't much to see there because it's so dark. I'm just trying to get maximum steering angle out of it. So this is the later 7-bolt hub axle, and we're going back to the Range Rover rims. The shock absorbers, I think, are they're old man emu. They've been a good shock, and they've got good strong pins on them. So I'm trying to think what else is lurking around here while I'm in here. That's the pump to pump oil out of the sump into the dry sump tank there. All the oil runs out of the dry sump tank into the bottom of the engine sump, and that makes it about halfway up the crankshaft. So you can't start it like that, you have to hand pump it back up into the top or turn the pump over by hand. That's the forward reservoir tank for the radiator, because the big pipe coming through here and the big pipe coming through here, those two are going to the rear radiator, and the rear radiator has its own header tank at the back, and there's an electric water pump down there. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else much to show you. That's my race truck and what I'm messing about with it. Thanks for watching.